All right. What's up, everyone? Matt here. I'm going to be racing the Leadville 100 mountain bike race this August. It's coming up right around the corner, August 14th. I'm excited and terrified. So I've been training for Leadville for the past 4 months. And in those 4 months, I've been doing both road biking and mountain biking. And I found a lot of good things from doing both of those activities. And so I want to talk about how road biking and mountain biking are different and how they can supplement one another. So before we jump into it though, let me just tell you quickly about the bikes that I'm riding. So for my road bike, I've got a Cannondale CAD 12. This thing is a classic. It's like an orange dream machine. It's got an aluminum frame, carbon wheels, and a Shimano 105 group set. This bike is awesome for long rides, races, and commutes around town. On the other hand, I've got my mountain bike, which is an Ibis DV9. This bike is a hardtail cross-country bike. It's got 120 millimeters of travel up front, which is right around 4.5 inches, and 29-inch wheels. So this bike can roll over everything. It can handle cross-country races, trail rides, and even the occasional jump or two. So pretty excited about both of these bikes. So there are 3 main benefits to riding both road bikes and mountain bikes concurrently. So those benefits are number 1, training, and the benefits of different training types. Number 2 is bike handling, so how you're going to be a more capable and confident bike rider overall. 3, just fun. How much you are going to enjoy riding your various bikes and how that's going to keep you stoked and not burnt out on riding bikes. All right. Let's talk about training. So riding bikes for some people is all about getting faster and stronger. That's primarily what I've been into over the last 4 months or so as I try and get ready for Leadville. And so there are different training benefits for different types of riding, either your road bike or your mountain bike. So road biking is great for structured training. So intervals are one of the best ways to get stronger and faster. And intervals are easier to do on long stretches of open road. It's much easier to find a 10, 20, or 30-minute climb that's consistent on a road bike than it is on a mountain bike. And so if you want to get some structured interval training in, it can be easier to do that on a road bike. Road biking is also great for just getting in really big miles. So you can go faster on a road bike, and as a result, you can go farther. So if you are training for a century, for example, or you just want to be able to ride lots and lots of miles, doing that on a road bike is more feasible because of the increased speed that you've got. On the flip side, some of the training benefits of mountain biking. So mountain biking is really awesome for endurance miles. It is super fun to ride a mountain bike through the forest, look at trees, chat with your friends. And doing endurance miles is an important part of the training process as well. And so I think that it can often be more interesting to do a long, slow, hardish ride on your mountain bike in comparison to your road bike because of the varied scenery and terrain you'll get on a mountain bike. So I think endurance miles are awesome out in the great outdoors. One of the other training benefits of mountain biking is body strength. So mountain biking requires you to use your whole body. You'll be using your legs for sure, but you'll also be working out your core, your back, your chest, and other muscle groups. So as an example of that, think about the Tour de France for a moment and think about what those racers look like. They are super skinny people who are incredibly strong, but they got like twig person vibes going on, which is great. More power to them. On the other hand, if you look at mountain bikers, those folks are usually a little more proportional in terms of muscle mass because of the requirements of the sport. So you got to muscle your bike around, and so you're not just legs, you've got upper body strength as well. And so some people are only concerned with being as fast as humanly possible, and so doing road bike specific workouts and developing those muscles works for them. But for other people who are concerned about whole body strength and health, mountain biking can be a great way to do both upper and lower body workouts. So when you combine those two things together, you're an even better bicyclist overall. Alrighty, let's talk about handling. So riding a road bike will make you a better mountain biker, and riding a mountain bike will make you a better road biker. Who would have thought? So let's talk about why that is. And I think the obvious place to start is with mountain biking. Mountain biking is a challenging sport. You are constantly balancing your bike, you're managing bumpy terrain, there are steep slopes, loose surfaces, you've got traction issues, sometimes there are jumps, and even more. Learning how to ride a mountain bike confidently takes time, but it also teaches you how to balance and manage your bike through a variety of terrain. And these skills definitely translate over into riding a road bike. And so when you're on your road bike, you're going to be faster and more confident on wet, steep, and loose road surfaces as a result of all that mountain biking. And I imagine that part felt obvious to a lot of people. But you may be surprised to hear there are real benefits to riding your road bike and your mountain bike performance. So when you're riding your road bike, one of the biggest things that translates over into mountain biking is your ability to corner. So leaning a road bike into a corner can be absolutely terrifying. It doesn't look like those tiny tires with no grip or with no tread patterns will provide any traction. But when you trust the bike and you lean it over into a corner and you start practicing this skill, you're going to see and be really surprised by how capable your road bike is of cornering while at an aggressive angle. And so that same process of learning to lean your bike over and to trust your bike in a corner will translate into riding your mountain bike when you're going through a corner with maybe debris on the trail or into a berm. I've been mountain biking for a long time. I got more into road biking since quarantine started, and I've seen a definite increase in my cornering ability on my mountain bike directly because of my cornering practice on a road bike. So you can definitely get that benefit. So there it is. Your performance is going to be better if you do both. All right, now last but not least is just keeping everything fun, keeping it interesting, keeping it loose. As they say, variety is the spice of life. It is an old hacky trope, and yet it's true. If you're only riding one type of bike, you are eventually going to get burnt out on it. It could be something that takes weeks, months, or even years, but eventually it will happen. It'll just start to feel too familiar. You might lose some of the sensation of novelty. You'll be less excited to ride, and therefore you might not ride as much. And so one way to prevent that sensation from happening and to keep yourself stoked on riding bikes and getting outside is to switch it up. I've been riding mountain bikes for a really long time, and I would go through waves of being excited about the bike and then sort of putting the bike down for weeks or months and then coming back to it. But ever since I picked up road biking, that pattern has changed. Now, instead of not riding my mountain bike for a couple of weeks or a couple of months, I'll instead shift over to my road bike and just ride that because it's fun, because it's different groups of friends to ride with. And as a result, I'm spending more times on the bike, I'm having more fun, I'm getting more fit because of consistency in the training. And it's providing all of these, increased benefits to my handling on the bike. So I would highly encourage people to think about not just riding one or the other, or thinking of themselves as strictly a road biker or a mountain biker, but try one of the other disciplines within our big, giant, awesome sport. Gravel cycling is another thing we haven't even touched on in this video, but you can get a gravel bike, which is like a hybrid Frankenstein road bike, mountain bike situation. Get out there and rip around on that thing. You can even do other stuff too, like ride a unicycle, ride a trike, ride a hybrid bike. I don't know. I'm riffing at this point. What else can you ride? You should tell me. I don't know. Bikes, they're great.